Traveler, Paimon, it's been a long time.
Oh, hey, Hoishin. Long time no see. Fancy meeting you here. How's work these days?
Thanks to the help of people like you and colleagues like Ganyu, better all the time. But I've been feeling distracted at work. It's a long story.
Huh? What's wrong with Uncle Tian?
Nothing specifically. He's not unwell. He's always said, old age comes for us all in the end. Still, I just can't help but feel a little emotional watching it happen to him. Anyway, my father's currently on the second floor of Yangsheng Tea House. He seems very fond of you too.
Sure, let's go.
Shine down!
Uncle Tian, we're here to chat with you.
Oh? What a lovely surprise. Welcome. Oishi, why don't you go downstairs and get the shopkeeper to make us a fresh pot of tea? I heard that you've been traveling all over the place recently. I would very much like to hear your adventure stories. Hoishin told you, didn't she? Don't worry, I'm quite all right. It's just the years gradually catching up with me. As I grow older, I'm starting to find that with many things, though the mind is willing, the flesh is weak. I am still very much in good standing as the Tianshu today. Nevertheless, I wish to pass on the position before my mental acuity begins to decline beyond.
How difficult is it to transfer the Tianshu position?
Oh, well, you see, historically speaking, we also want to keep any prospective Tianshu candidates free from influence by outside. For these reasons, the incumbent Tianshu typically recommends their candidate of choice.
So in other words, you pick someone, and then Lady Keqing, Lady Ningguang, and the other Qixing appoint them?
Correct. Unfortunately, due to my health. Not to despair, however, because I found someone exceptionally capable to act on my behalf as assessment officer. In fact, I believe you recently became acquainted with her yourself.
Oh? Who is it?
I'm heartbroken. I thought it might take you a little longer than this to forget all about me.
It's Yelan!
Jackpot. Uncle Tian here asked me to assess 3 candidates for him. Fancy joining me? You'll be among the first to get to know the next Tianshu. Might be a good opportunity for you.
What do you think? Paimon thinks so too. It can't be a bad thing to be on good terms with a new Qixing, right?
Alright then. Though, I gotta say, Uncle Tian, you say you're into behind-the-scenes planning?
Huh? Yelan, you want to be the next Tianshu?
I'm not opposed to the idea. So, how about this? If your investigation reveals that...
Deal. Well, you guys take your time. Meet me on the first floor when you're ready. Until then, have a pleasant conversation. Oh, and no need to pay for your tea. As the new owner of this fine establishment, this runs on the house. You're all set?
Uncle Tian seems really worn down.
Yeah, it may sound harsh, but Uncle Tian is past his prime. He's not cut out for this anymore. So he's recommended 3 candidates. Their names are Qin Wei, Mingbo, and Zhi Yi. Qianwei is a wealthy entrepreneur. Mingbo works at the Liyue Ministry of Civil Affairs. Try to keep all that in mind. Of course, it doesn't really matter if you forget, since we'll be assessing them at Yuehai Pavilion in a short while.
Qianwei, Mingbo, Jui. Paimon should be able to remember their names, but what does the assessment involve exactly?
Let's leave that until we get to Yuehai Pavilion. Alright. Heads in the game, people. The stakes don't get much higher than a change in the Qixing. We can't afford to miss anything, no matter...
Got it. We'll keep our eyes wide open.
Oh, are the assessments complete?
Not just yet.
My legs are getting sore. What is wrong with this assessment officer? This is a huge occasion and I don't even get a chair. I've dealt with all kinds of people in my time, but never have I been made to stand while I'm waiting for an appointment.
Oh, I think it's fine.
That's called being complacent. If you're happy to just accept the way things are, you'll never be able to change anything in the future.
Oh, come on. That's just... Now you're just... being unreasonable.
All right, you two. Let's not get into a big argument over this. It's not worth it. Qianwei, that was a bit uncalled for. And Mingbo, cut him some slack. We've all been standing around for a while. It's not... Look, how about this? There's no rule saying we're obliged to stand up while we wait, so why don't we borrow some chairs from the guild nearby?
Fine. Ugh, they're not the best quality chairs, to be sure.
It looks like all 3 candidates have arrived. We'll meet them formally soon. But I've split it into 2 stages. Current affairs and planning, and face-to-face interview. In the first stage, candidates are required to submit a manifesto for Liyue's development. Writing a manifesto takes time, so I informed them of this requirement in advance. These are the reports they submitted.
Wow. One of them is really thick.
It's also worth mentioning a stipulation I gave them. Whoever is appointed as the new Tianshu will be expected to implement their plan as put forward in their manifesto. Failing the occurrence of some cataclysmic event, they will not be permitted to change their plan. Therefore, these 3 piles of documents in front of us represent where each candidate stands on key policy issues. There's still some time. Have a skim through. I'll be waiting off to the side. Just let me know when you're done. Finished, huh? What did you think?
Everyone took it very seriously.
Of course they did. They have the chance to be picked as the new Tianshu, so you can bet they're putting their best foot forward. And keep in mind, whoever gets in has to execute their plan as written. Nobody wants to have any regrets. That's for me to know and you to find out. We'll see the candidates now. Let's do one at a time. Start with...
Yes, ma'am.
Oh? So you two are the assessment officers, are you? I had assumed that given the great import of this situation, Lady Ningguang would perhaps be assessing us in person. I trust you've read through my manifesto? I'd be more than happy to clarify any details you found difficult to grasp.
Mind your tone, mister.
Relax. It wasn't intended as a personal slight against anyone in particular. I was simply stating a fact. Cloud Retainer? You know this Adeptus? Oh, yes, I remember now. You must be the traveler that people are constantly talking about. With your sterling reputation, you must have a respectable level of erudition. Perhaps you will be able to understand the concepts I have put forward. Although I shouldn't get my hopes up.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes. Please, introduce yourself.
I'm, Mingbo. I've worked there for, 9 years, 5 months, and 3 days. In that time, I've handled, 2,347 cases. I have 12 active cases at the moment. They should be concluded in, 16 days? My current work is related to urban planning, and I'm also responsible for, auditing the accounts. To be more precise, there are 3 parts to the accounts, namely...
Is it just Paimon, or is he not very good at public speaking?
You know what? Let's leave the self-introduction there and...
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Hello. Not gonna lie, what would you like to know? You're here to assess me, so ask away and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability.
Your manifesto is very wide in its scope, but you don't seem to be personally involved in many of the specific fields. How can you be sure that you have the ability to put your plan into action?
Very fair question. I completely understand where you're coming from. But I'm confident in my plan. I've visited many different places, talked to lots of people with far more expertise than myself. And of course, 2 different problems can be interconnected in very complicated ways.
How do you plan to determine whether you are right or wrong about your proposed solution being the optimal one?
A great question. Well, I'd start by having my colleagues and the secretaries of the Yuehai Pavilion evaluate any proposals before implementation. If it turned out that my judgment was to blame for poor results, I would take responsibility.
Nice answer. All right, next question.
He seems like a great guy. Everything he said was thoughtful and logical, and he was just a pleasure to listen to.
Here's my take on what we just learned. As you saw, Qianwei is highly knowledgeable. He proposes many excellent ideas in his manifesto which effectively target the big issues. But he is very proud and incredibly stubborn. Mingbo's plan is more thorough and more measured. You can tell he's meticulous in his work, but he and Qianwei are otherwise polar opposites. Mingbo is not very articulate and comes...
Perfect summary! Paimon couldn't agree more!
Last but not least, Jur-E. His manifesto is full of pertinent details. The depth he goes into in each and every area means it can only be a product of painstaking work. Plus, he is modest and good at dealing with people. But what really interests me is that many of his views happen to coincide with Uncle Tien's.
Great!
We'll see. Let's go back and report to Uncle Tien.
No escape!
I see.
All right, then let me ask this. The ideas in Jur-E's manifesto are very similar to your own.
Oh, I didn't want to say anything when I gave you the list of candidates. Those 3 candidates have all studied under me in the past, but Xin Wei went on to focus on his business.
Whoa! So how did you get to know them all, Uncle Tian?
Chen Wei was referred to me by an old friend. We first met while fishing. Juri came from a poor family, and his parents died when he was very young. But he was a gifted student and a fast learner. He reminded me of a younger version of myself. So I started out giving him a few words of advice when we were out fishing and noticed how quickly he got on. Quite. And now, all of a sudden, he's grown into a mature young man. It's a joy to see, but it also gets one thinking. The young are growing up, and I am growing old. How time flies.
I don't know, Uncle Tian. You still seem in pretty good shape to me.
Oh, you. There's really no need to console me.
Sounds like you sure love fishing, Uncle Tian.
Ooh, there's nothing.
Fresh fish soup. Mmm, sounds tasty.
Doesn't it? Also, when we've been fishing recently, that flavor makes for a fond memory.
Oh, can Paimon come next time too?
Let's get back to the matter at hand. Uncle...
I appointed you as the assessment officer, and I trust your judgment. Had you not asked me why Juri's ideas were so similar to mine, I was not going to mention my history with any of them. This decision must be guided by what is fair and right. Please disregard all other considerations and make your final decision. Remember, you must be thorough.
Understood. Come on, let's go talk somewhere else.
Bye-bye, Uncle Tian. Look after yourself. So, it's gonna be Jiri, right? His manifesto was written well, and he's the best speaker.
Easy. Let's not rush. There's no time limit for this assessment.
Huh? So, are you gonna give them more tests or something?
No, nothing like that. The assessment itself is complete. The biggest no-no in intelligence work is to only get information from the person of interest themselves. For example... Wenyuan, Shenghua.
Yes?
Lady Yelan, what are your orders?
Ugh! Who are they? Where did they come from?
Did they scare you? These two are Wenyuan and Shenghua. They were as my trusted assistants. They are always standing guard nearby. Shenghua is a business expert who gets his information by trading. Wenyuan relies on word of mouth. And there's also Upei, who's not here right now.
That meathead must have been out there on sea surveillance for some time now.
Nothing can take that guy down.
Shenghua, visit all the commerce guilds and look into Qianwei's background. Wenyuan, go to the Ministry of Civil Affairs and look through...
Yes, ma'am.
So what about Juri?
Jur-E. Well, obviously, as the most promising candidate. Let's go to the docks first.
If we're looking for information, he does business at the North Wharf.
That's actually not...
Look, your asking price for this batch is just too high. I can't buy in at this price. How am I supposed to turn a profit?
Come on, hear me out. I'm telling you, this is the single best batch of Sunsetias ever. You won't. I accidentally dropped one into a well, and even the water turned sweet.
Even so...
All right. I'll let you in on a little secret. The boss of Second Life also wants to buy from me, but I haven't responded yet. If you won't take him, I'll just have to partner with them instead. And neither of us wants that.
Okay, well, when you put it that way... Oh, what are you doing here? And to be clear, these Sunsetias are mine. I got to them first. Don't get any ideas.
Actually, we want to ask you about a guy called Jur-E. Have you heard of him before?
Jur-E? I've heard a story about him. They say he was born into poverty. His parents died when he was young, and he was treated cruelly by the local community. One of his neighbors was terribly rude to him all the time, but Jur-E never retaliated. He returned cruelty with kindness, injustice with peace offerings. A gentleman of talent and character, and... oh, how did I not notice him sooner?
Oh, he sounds like a decent man.
Why are you asking about him anyway? Well then, in that case, the higher bidder takes the... Ah, that's Jur-E right over there.
Where?
It's him, all right. Looks like he's chatting with Linlong. Come on, let's follow them and listen in. Try not to let him see you. We want this information to be as...
I'll just go and fetch an employment contract. And hey, don't try and cut me out of this.
I understand. Let's walk and talk. So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
The truth is, an old friend of mine, who likes to have a drink now and then... He fancies himself as a man of culture, but doesn't care for needless extravagance.
What's the hurry? Don't get too close, or he'll see you.
My friend.
Try not to let him see you. We want this information to be as truthful as...
I understand. Let's walk and talk. So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
The truth is, an old friend of mine, who likes to have a drink now and then... He fancies himself as a man of culture, but doesn't care for needless extravagance. So I thought I might buy him a set of high-quality fakes.
How very thoughtful of you. Leave it to me, then. Come and collect it at Shigu Antiques whenever is convenient.
Thank you very much, Miss Linlong.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Juri. These days, it's quite rare for someone of your standing to still keep up with their old friends. It's nice to see. I'll be sure to pick out a good set for you. You can count on me.
Juri seems to get along really well with everyone. Are you satisfied now, Yelan? Seems...
We shouldn't jump to conclusions just yet. Let's...
Do we have to? Wait, you're not just trying to dig up some dirt on Juri because you want to...
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. But hey, you'll be able to try all the finest food for free. How does that...
We will? Well, come on! Off to the South Wharf we go!
Oh, Lantern Rite was simply amazing. I'm not sure I'll be able to sleep tonight. Yep, and happy Lantern Rite to you.
Want to make a kite together?
Healthy body, healthy
Sisu?
mind.
I'm exhausted.
The wharf is as busy as ever. I hear the anglers here sometimes sell their fish to the nearby fishmongers.
Welcome. What would you like to buy today?
Sorry to interrupt. We're actually members of the, Liyue Anglers Association, and we've heard about this young man called Juri who's supposed to be a fantastic...
Whoa! Yelan made up a whole fake identity without batting an eyelid.
Ah, yes, Juri. He's been making quite a name for himself recently. Apparently, he had a rather tough time growing up. How does that saying go? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, if there's anything to that logic, he's sure to be phenomenally successful one day.
Yeah, we think so too.
But I'm afraid your Anglers Association might be in for a disappointment.
Oh? Why's that?
He's good at a lot of things, but fishing isn't one of them. He fishes at the wharf and sells what he catches to me on occasion. His catches are always mediocre. Not terrible, but equally nothing to write home about.
That sounds fantastic. I've got a couple of other things to attend to right now, though.
Sure thing. See you.
Everywhere they go, they meet someone who's heard of him. Come on, let's keep asking around.
Here to buy some fish? It's 300 for one or 3 for 1,000. You better hurry. When they're gone,
Hello, we're from the Society for Fish Price Research.
Wow, she switched identity again.
Society for Fish Price Research? I haven't done anything illegal. Stay out of my business.
Please, don't worry. We're just here to conduct a simple survey. We've heard about a certain Jur-E who's been selling fresh fish at low prices in this area recently.
So this isn't about me. You should have said something, you know. I know the guy. I haven't heard anything about him selling fresh fish at low prices, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was him.
Oh? Why is that?
Because he's so poor. His parents died when he was very young, and his alcoholic father still owed a huge amount of debt. No, he was still a kid when he first came to the wharf. His clothes were ragged, and he had a bandage wrapped, and he managed to survive, thanks to Uncle Tien, who gave him some food. But, I mean, he can afford to eat and everything, but you'll often see him haggling with others over just a few. It's not like he catches much anyway, so.
You'd rather he didn't know?
Well, I spoke to him once, briefly, and I think he has pretty low self-esteem. But hey, nobody's perfect. I just wouldn't want to upset him.
I see. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Not a problem. And just for the record, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the price of my fish.
The more times you say it, the less convincing it becomes.
Doesn't have a lot of mora to his name.
Illusion shattered!
Hey, it's you guys! Wait, what's the phrase? Oh yeah, honored to meet you. What brings you to me?
The truth is, we are but newcomers to this territory. We heard tell of a great martial artist.
Really?
But of course. We also heard that Master Dooku is a kind and virtuous swordsman who never turns away anyone who comes with questions.
Great! So what do you wish to know? Nothing happens on this street that I don't know about.
Now she's lying to a kid.
So, Master Dooku, have you heard of one by the name of Jur-E?
Sure have. You mean that guy that all the grown-ups are talking about these days? I've heard many tales of Juri. Probably because it's nothing that important. I prefer stories about sword-fighting heroes.
Oh, I can completely understand that.
Oh yeah, I know that. It was about 2 or 3 months ago. Before that, people always used to talk about Juri in a kind of nasty tone of voice. But 2 or 3 months ago, suddenly everyone started to like him. Sometimes he gives me candies, so I'm glad that people are starting to like him now.
Just as I thought.
Huh? What do you mean?
I mean, just as I thought, Master Dooku is indeed as kind and virtuous as the legends claim.
I'm not that great. Oh yeah, one other thing. These days, there's a lot of people I've never seen before talking about Juri stories in the street.
Oh, definitely.
Great! So next time I see them, I'll say hi. And I guess I can share some of my candies with them too.
Certainly. You can also tell my friend in Yenshang Tea House about what they're up to. I'm sure my friend would also like to say hi to them.
Thank you, ma'am!
You're welcome. Well then, fare thee well, Master Dooku.
Until we meet again.
Any of that sound strange to you?
Strange? What was strange about it? Juri seems to have a great reputation. Uncle Soon and Uncle Gao spoke highly of him, and—
True. But the issue is, where did his sudden celebrity come from?
Sudden? Too good to be true?
So he returns cruelty with kindness, and had to work to support his studies. Do you remember what Doogu Shuo said about Jur-E's plus? There's the fact that all this, his childhood, his studies.
When you put it like that...
Of course, if that's all there was to it, Jur-E was born into a poor family. The problem is, do you remember what Uncle Gao said about him? He's stayed poor his whole life. Right, and that changes everything. That's the worst case scenario. But all too often, The most pessimistic speculation turns out to be close.
Someone's trying to gain influence over the Qixing? Even if we asked Juri about it, surely there's no way he'd admit it.
First, we need to find out who's supporting him. Remember the current affairs and planning stage of the assessment? Since the successful candidate is due to whoever is secretly helping Jur-E. Come on, let's get back to Yenshang Tea House.
Try your luck betting on Jade?
Jur-E's manifesto covers a huge range of topics. I'll divide the reports into 2 piles. You take... Officially, the assessment is already over.
Yikes! We better hurry!
Whatever else Uncle Tien might think of Jur-E, any evidence he's left is not going to be immediately obvious.
Even though Yelan took half, this is still a lot to get through. Well, we gotta start somewhere. Oh, this reading is giving Paimon a headache. Let's take a break.
Looks like I'm the first one back, as usual.
Oh, hey! It's one of Yelan's little helpers! Shut! If you're back, that means you finished investigating Tianwei.
You betcha. I visited all the commerce guilds and gathered a wealth of information. Every time they asked me to leave, but I...
Don't drag this out. Just...
Yes, Lady Yelan. To summarize my findings, most people who've had interactions with Qianwei will start... The young master of the Feiyun Commerce Guild said that Qianwei appears... Once he signs a contract with somebody, he treats them fairly regardless.
Who'd have thought?
Is it possible that his reputation is fake? Is there any...
In theory, that should be very difficult. But here's... Where he buys from and sells to should be confidential. Qianwei often sees business opportunities that others don't. But once he's made enough mora off of it, it's like he gets sick of it and releases all of his trade secrets. It's like he wants people to know that they still can't beat him, even if he shares all of his secrets. The fact that...
What a strange guy.
To validate his theories. No wonder his manifesto contains so many insights.
I'm back! Huh? How come you're here?
Why do you think? Obviously, because I possess superior skills, and
Whatever. I'm not getting into an argument with you. If I hadn't had something else to take care of on the way, I would have been back long before you. Lady Yelan, I have finished investigating Mingbua.
Well, we're all ears.
The Ministry of Civil Affairs says that Mingbua struggles to get his words out when he gets nervous. But after a few days of getting to know him, you can pretty much have a normal conversation with him. On the whole...
In your opinion, was the Ministry of...
I don't believe so. Mingbua, according to Miss Yu, And also, there was once someone in the Ministry who was lying and cheating to try to advance.
Whoa, that's hard to imagine.
Like I said before, things are not always as they...
Ah, so that's what you meant by that. Paimon's starting to get it now.
Thank you both. You're free to go now. So, have you finished reading the manifesto?
We still have a bit left.
I can't see any immediate problems looking at the end of... The only one that strikes me as a little unusual. Qiangshu Pool has always been home to many secrets. At some point, a rumor began to go around that there is great treasure buried beneath Qiangshu Pool. A long time ago, with the...
So, did they find any treasure?
None. The ruin was completely impenetrable. The technology wasn't mature enough at that time. Zhi-Yi's manifesto focuses on solving problems. Still, this one fact alone doesn't tell us much. Did you find anything?
Excavation? Project? Treasure? Did we read anything similar in our half of the manifesto? Oh yeah! Zhi-Yi said the
Did he now? Well...
Does that mean the Blackcliff Forge is Zhi-Yi's secret supporter?
No, not likely. I've looked into the Blackcliff Forge before. They do possess some specialized explosives. Still, since the clues are pointing toward the Blackcliff Forge, we should see where they lead.
Shenwei and Ningbo both turned out to be completely different than what we thought. What about Zhi-Yi? Is there another side to him too?
Shine down!
This is the Blackcliff Forge. Let's look around for clues.
What's this? A diary?
From the back, it looks like a ledger. But it seems they also use it as a site log. We don't know who wrote it, but it's interesting, don't you?
You think they're suspicious?
Yes. Look, it says, at this rate, by the time the Qingshu Pool redevelopment plan is ready to roll, that'll give them the chance to take a lot of liberties. Imagine if we didn't suspect anything. By the time Zhi-Yi recommends the Blackcliff Forge for the excavation project, and no red flags if all they did was change some key staff. And even if we decided to vet the staff individually, that's the advantage of planning this far in advance.
When you put it like that, it all makes sense. So, who's really behind all this?
That's a question for the newcomers. But let's start.
Excuse us. We want to ask you about the newcomers.
You want them to teach you or something? I gotta say, these newcomers are in tip-top shape. My only complaint is that they're always going out drinking at night, but they never let us join them. I guess they just need some time to adjust. I'm sure we'll get to know each other over time.
They go out drinking. This area isn't exactly renowned for the nightlife. I'm guessing it's a long trip to the nearest tavern.
You got that right. They tell me they go all the way back to Liyue Harbor to drink at Wanmin Restaurant. It rained after work today, so they actually stuck around at the site for a while. Hey, you're only young once, right? I say, if they can hack it, let them at it.
Interesting. Let's go talk somewhere else. Looks like our hunch was on the Mora. Drinking in Liyue Harbor, huh? Some cover story. Good thing it rained today. It means they'll leave footprints. I doubt they'd give themselves away that easily.
They went that way! Hurry, we gotta catch up! Huh. These footprints are heading towards Liyue Harbor. Maybe we were wrong about them.
Just as I thought. They didn't go to Liyue Harbor. They went that way. The footprints stop here. But, judging from the direction, I'm guessing their destination was that abandoned house.
Illusion shattered!
Looks like we were too late. This has gotta be where the newcomers rendezvous with whoever they're working for. Look at these ashes. Someone was burning documents not long before we arrived.
Could there be anything left? Maybe the wind could have blown the fire out before everything was finished burning.
The odds of that are very slim.
Why don't we wait for them back at the Black Cliff Forge?
We can't count on that. Clearly they were based here at one point, but to me, that says that whoever's behind this has moved them somewhere else.
Darn! Guess this is where a trail runs cold.
Make no mistake, I smelled something peculiar the moment I came in. Those newcomers probably thought they'd be safe as long as they burned the letters. But what they failed to consider is that paper and ink from different regions produce different odors when they're burned.
Really? Paimon can't smell anything. Do you?
There is a certain place with a freezing cold climate, where some wealthy people there put floral fragrance in their ink, when that fragrant ink is burned. This is the exact odor that it leaves behind. Exactly. The evidence will soon be blown away by the wind, so it's nothing we can arrest anyone. But it's all I need. Now I know who we're dealing with.
Lady Yelan! Oh, thank goodness I finally found you. I thought I'd never see you again.
Who are you?
Don't be alarmed. This is Upei. He's Wenyuan and Shanghua's colleague. I sent him to look into Zhiyi's regular contacts. Since Zhiyi likes fishing, I left him a note at Yanshang Tea House telling him So, what did you find out at sea?
Forgive my incompetence. I'm afraid I've come up empty-handed. I asked all the fishermen multiple times, but none of them had any interactions with Zhiyi before. Then the waves got so choppy I ended up falling overboard. When I got back, I heard that you'd gone to Black Cliff Forge and might need backup, so I went straight there as fast as I could.
Well, Uncle Tian said that Zhiyi once bought a recipe from one of the fishermen.
What? No, that's not possible. It's absolutely not possible. Lady Yelan, I'm telling—
Interesting. Then I wonder how that even more wonderful fish soup came about.
Fish soup? What fish soup?
Nothing. Our priority right now is to find a way to get our hands on some solid evidence. Well, Any suggestions? Not a bad idea. Upe, what do you think?
Honestly, I've already tried following Juri, but the guy's too cautious. Never meets with anyone suspicious.
Okay, so tailing's out.
No, we'll still need to tail him.
Groundwork?
When you've worked in intelligence for a long time, you'll understand that no one can stay on high alert forever. Tomorrow morning, I'll announce his victory at Yuehai Pavilion. Be sure to arrive on time. You won't want to miss the show. It looks like we're all here. Well then, time for me to announce the results of the assessment process. I won't drone on about the importance of the Tianshu role.
All of us here know the score. Don't beat around the bush, just get on with it.
Qianwei has many pioneering ideas, but some of his plans are lacking in detail, and Mingbo is reliable, but not quite ambitious enough, and because of his personality, he struggles to win people over. In contrast, Juri is evenly balanced across the board, and enjoys an excellent reputation in Liyue. After much consideration, I have decided to recommend Juri to the Liyue Qixing.
What?
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Honestly, I'm a little surprised to hear my name being announced. In my estimation, all three of us are worthy candidates for the Tianshu position. Would either of you entertain the possibility of working with me in the future?
I'll have to see. I'm in a bad mood. This is the last thing I want to be thinking about right now.
I don't mind, as long as I can help.
Okay, well, that's all from me. Juri, you'll have some preparation to do.
I will live up to the Tianshu name. On this, you have my word. I should go. I need to pack my things, and then I think...
Count me out. I'm not in the mood for a celebration.
Juri seems pretty relaxed now. This would be a good time to follow him.
Hey, Traveler, tell me something. What exactly does that guy have that I don't? If you can't answer that, I'm not accepting this result.
I, also wouldn't mind knowing.
Oh no, if we get stuck here, we won't be able to leave!
Follow him.
Yes, ma'am.
We finally got rid of them!
Lady Yelan, Juri has gone towards Feiyun Slope.
Follow him, quickly.
So Juri really sided with the Fatui? But Uncle Tian thinks so highly of him. Why would he do this?
Difficult to say, but everything should become a lot clearer when we find him.
sorry, Lady Yelan. We lost him. He's too good at this. We weren't able to keep following him without
How the heck did he manage to shake Yelan's? I guess Juri didn't let his guard down.
No, Upe says he's much more relaxed than usual. Maybe it's just how he's
How?
Don't blame yourselves. Let's not forget he was trained by Uncle Tien himself. If I'd asked you to tail Uncle Tien, you'd have...
Shinue Kiosk. He only went in briefly. A few moments later, a man dressed in a completely different outfit came out. Upe had a feeling that it was him. I figured that if we spooked him, it would... So I stopped Upe, and I stayed here to wait for you.
Good work. The fish didn't take the bait, but let's go to Shinue Kiosk.
Could you explain to me how that works? A guy like him comes in, changes his whole outfit right under your nose, and you don't even ask him about it?
Our customers are free to dress however they please.
Okay, fair enough, but...
Well, maybe I did, but it still doesn't give me the right to stop.
Enough. Let's tone this down a little. I'll make this quick. Just one question.
Oh, he didn't buy anything. He just picked up a bottle of liquor.
A bottle of liquor?
Yes, a very strong kind. Fiery, with... This gentleman ordered it in person from us a long time ago.
Liquor and wineware.
Where to?
Shigu Antiques. Hey, Miss Linlong. Sorry to bother you. Zhi ordered a wine. We're friends of his. He's been...
Sure. Which model are you looking for?
We don't really know a whole lot about wineware.
Zhi picked up his set not long ago. Just so you're aware, we don't have many of this model left in stock.
Don't worry. Price shouldn't be an issue, I'm sure.
For this set, the wine glasses are sold separately. Minimum purchase is 1 glass, maximum is 4. Mr. Zhi,
Okay. Thanks.
Well, don't take too long. Wait.
This is turning into a real headache.
I'd just like to point out that we have the self-professed Grand Master of Fieldwork here to thank for being wholly incapable of tailing an ordinary civilian without...
It's not like you did any better.
My specialty is information trading, okay? I don't have the physical agility. What's...
Fair point.
Yelan, so has the plan failed? Oh, if we can't figure out where Juri went, there's not much we can do. But why was he buying liquor at Shinue?
If so, it's no ordinary celebration.
What do you mean?
First of all, Zhi isn't much of a drinker. If he was just looking to celebrate by himself, he wouldn't spend his meager savings. No, this is a victory feast. Whoever this person is clearly enjoys hard liquor and has a very high status. Now, where might we find Fatui who match...
Fatui officials
have both locations surrounded.
Lady Yelan, is it time for us to make our move?
Get with the program, would you? This is a covert surveillance operation, in which case...
Great idea! So we just...
But Lady Yelan, if we get caught, this could become a major diplomatic incident.
I'm well aware. But don't you see? Zhi is stick to your orders. And
yes, ma'am.
Don't worry, Lady Yelan. Zhi may be a slippery character, but
I'll be waiting for you at the tea house. If I'm guessing correctly, Fatui officials are likely to take action at night.
Take them. I have no need. Shine down!
Come one, come all!
Perfect timing. Wenyuan just sent word that the Fatui ambassador, Yusupov, just left the embassy alone. He's heading in the direction of Qingshu Pool.
Qingshu Pool? That's the place Jerry mentioned in his manifesto.
It looks like that's where they've arranged to meet. Qingshu Pool is always crawling with monsters. Most people wouldn't dream of going there. It's one place they won't need to worry about being seen.
Oh no, we gotta go get them!
Let's go. If my hunch is correct, we just might hit the jackpot this time. This is Qingshu Pool, full of ruins, crawling with monsters. Anyone with any sense steers well clear of this place. I've looked into the place before. There's a worker's entrance somewhere around here. Follow me. There's been some work done on this place in the past, but the workers left an emergency access route. Still, be ready to fight at any moment. Any resistance needs to be taken out quickly.
Don't worry, we're all professionals here. By the way, Yelan, where are your 3 little helpers at?
They have other things to take care of first. We couldn't afford to wait for them.
Illusion shattered!
freeze over. Born of ice and...
I see everything. Yeah.
There is no escape! Inazuma shines eternal!
As I expected, but this shouldn't be too much trouble.
That's gotta be the Fatui ambassador here to meet Ji. Looks like he went through that door. That must be the emergency access route, right? Come on, let's hurry.
This is the construction workers' emergency access route, but it's closed tight. Trying to break through would be risky. Let's see if we can find another way.
Gotcha.
Make yourselves at home. Let's change.
Go in!
Everyone hold hands.
Illusion shattered!
No touching.
Quietly now. Here comes the catch.
Shine down!
Water's gone down.
Busted.
overdue. Born of icy frost.
Ha! Illusion shattered!
Next on the agenda.
Let's light it up! Torn to oblivion!
The waters flowed into the groove, and now the statues have lit up. Okay, now we should be able to move the statues.
The door is open. Let's go.
We should be nearly at the bottom now. Let's wrap this up.
Share my knowledge.
Things are about to get dicey.
Everybody stand back! Shine down! Ha! Ha! Now you shall perish!
I can tell from the aroma that this is very fine liquor indeed. I'm impressed. Come on, bottoms up. After you, of course.
Oh, sorry. That went down the wrong way. I've never drunk anything this strong.
You'll get there. If you want to stay friends with us, you have to drink with us.
I'll do my best.
You're more of a lightweight than I thought. Already struggling after one glass? I thought you were made of sterner stuff. You certainly kept it together when you were poisoning your teacher's soup. Come on, another round. Less talking, more drinking.
Sure. You didn't leave me much of a choice, though, did you? Just the mention of poisoning sends shivers down my spine. I'm more timid than you realize. Every time I poisoned him, I had to hide away at home for a few days because I was so scared of getting caught.
Look, I know it has not been easy for you, my friend. We appreciate all your hard work. But, I have to say, you really are quite a genius at poisoning people. I mean, the poison we brought from Snezhnaya is as strong as this wine, but you found a way to turn it into an imperceptible, slow-acting poison, and came up with the idea of delivering it through fish soup. What was it you said? Oh, yeah. You said the soup's fishy flavor neutralizes the pungency of the poison, and this process even makes the soup tastier as a result. How did you think of that?
It struck me one day when I was fishing. I'm lucky it did. Otherwise, I'm not sure I would have been able to fool Uncle Tien.
You have performed excellently. The Fatui will continue to provide the support you need to consolidate your position as Tian Shu. Aside from Qingshu Pool, we also have some other requests for you, which we will inform you of in due course.
Don't worry. Whatever tasks you have for me, I will perform them diligently.
Did you hear that? It was poison! That's why Uncle Tien hasn't been feeling well recently. It's... What a nasty guy! Seize him!
Hold on. Did you bring a camera? If not, you can use mine. This is quite a scene. We have to capture it for posterity.
Excellent liquor. We've, seen no progress on the diplomatic front, but soon, everything will be taken care of, and I can report back on a successful mission. I remember when I first saw you. I knew right away that you would make a good partner for us. Hey.
How could I forget? You said a lowly commoner like me could never be seen as a serious candidate for the Tianshu. No, the only way is for you to shine bright in the Tianshu's darkest moment.
Yes. Under normal circumstances, the gap between you and other people could only ever grow wider over time. Just look at your two competitors. Chen Wei had wealth. Ming Boa had reputation. And that's why I decided to help you. You know, there's an old saying in the Fatui. Give a starving dog a bone, and it'll guard your home for the rest of its life.
Yes. I cannot thank you enough for your generous support.
You know, the best thing about you is that you do as you're told without complaining. Hey, keep up the good work, and I can assure you, you'll never have to worry about Mora again. Heck, when you're not in the company of the Fatui, you'll—
Uncle Gao said that Jur-E has low self-esteem. Seems he was right. He was worried that whatever advantage he might have now will diminish over time. Do you have any more film in the camera? Then get ready to use it. How well this goes for us depends on how Jur-E plays his hand.
Ooh, is there any more alcohol? Go on. Fill me up. I'm in a good mood today, and I'm gonna drink my fill.
There's only a little left. Here, I'll fill your glass. If you like it, I can bring you some more next time.
Whoa, this is the good stuff. It is great. Huh? What the? Jur-E, you poisoned my wine? But when?
You seem surprised, Mr. Yusupov.
How could you?
How could I not? I've sacrificed years of my life studying and reflecting to prepare myself for this position. And in the end, I even had to poison my own teacher. You really think I'd put myself through all that just to become your little puppet?
You imbecile. It's the Fatui who got you to where you are. Do you understand? If I disappear with no explanation, The embassy will come after you. They'll get to the bottom of this. Mark my words.
Do you see the haystack in the corner? Underneath it is a pile of explosives. And next door in the dark room are the 3 undercover agents you sent to infiltrate the Black Cliff Forge. I'm gonna stay here till I see you slip into unconsciousness. Then I'm gonna set this on fire. Once the flames burn through the hay, they'll ignite the explosives, the ruins will collapse, and everything will be buried.
What do you hope to?
I took the liberty of leaving some evidence of your contact with the undercover agents at the Black Cliff Forge. It won't take long for people to join the dots. 2 missing person cases will become one as the truth gradually reveals itself. The Fatui planted undercover agents in the Black Cliff Forge to steal their signature ruin-grade explosives. Their plan was to blow through the solid floor tiles in the dead of night and seize the treasure of Qingshu Pool. But things didn't quite go to plan. Faced with the overwhelming evidence, the embassy won't investigate this any further. It explains why you acted alone, while exonerating the rest of the embassy of any liability. Of course, none of that will have anything to do with me. When all of this comes to my attention, I'm afraid I'll have no choice but to cancel the Qingshu Pool redevelopment plan immediately.
Cherry, do you really think you're gonna get away with this? The Fatui has a record of everything. That includes the poison, all interactions between us, even my trip here tonight. After I die, they'll come looking, and they'll get to the bottom of this.
A record? Oh, you must mean the one in the hands of your second-in-command, Theo.
What? How do you know about that?
Because when you contacted me, I also made contact with your associates. I have Theophan to thank for providing me with the poison I used on you today. He'll help me tie up all the loose ends. After all, your untimely demise comes with a few perks for him. He has been eyeing your position for a long time now.
That traitor!
Shh. Relax. It's over. Sweet dreams, Mr. Yusupov.
I did a little surveying on the way here and found that you'd left yourself 3 escape routes in case things went south. I have them all surrounded. If you're thinking of trying anything, we were here the whole time and have pictures of everything.
The game's up? Forgive me, I'm not quite sure what you're referring to. I happened to discover a Fatui operation here, so I approached them on the pretext of joining forces and...
This is how you want to play it, huh? Fine. You do you. All we need to do to convict you is establish that... Nothing else you wanted to...
One wrong move and it all comes crashing down. You followed him here, didn't you? I was so focused on keeping myself out of sight. Let's talk about this, Yelan.
Your point...
When I take office, I can guarantee that I will act... I don't deny that I used underhanded methods to get here.
You still don't get it, do you? Even... What do you think? Exactly. Jur-E, clever people can always come up with a good excuse. There's nothing wrong with wanting to win other people's respect, but when he was like a teacher and a father to you, but you chose to repay that by poisoning him. Whatever
That's enough.
Of course. What makes this even crueler is that you managed to convince yourself there was no other way. Out of everyone in the world, he is the one who trusts you the most. So much that he drank your fish soup without doubting you, not for 1 second.
That's enough!
Life is like fishing. It cannot be rushed. Whatever you do, impatience will accomplish nothing. I was just like you once, desperate to prove myself. Only later did I realize things do not always turn out the way you plan, but you have to keep calm to carry on. You're still young. Be patient, believe in yourself, and don't look outside yourself to prove your value. Where's Jury these days? It's been a long time since he last paid me a visit.
Maybe he's just busy.
Well, next time, if he doesn't bring a pot of piping hot fish soup, don't let him in.
Whatever you were thinking about, you'll have plenty of time to mull it over in prison. Oh, I almost forgot. If the Fatui find out what happened today, prison might not turn out to be the safest place for you. Trying to have friends on both sides, it has a way of turning everyone against you. But right now, I have an opportunity for you.
Huh?
Sorry, things are about to get extremely busy for me. Let's meet at Yenshang Tea House tomorrow morning. I'll have someone remove the explosives.
Need our help with that?
No, it could be dangerous. You should leave this one to the professionals. Don't worry, as long as they're willing to cooperate, this will be a straightforward deal. Get some rest. See you tomorrow.
Illusion shattered! Access denied.
Let's light it up!
Let's go find some treasure.
There is now no poison left in his system, but recovery from the damage already done will not happen overnight.
Dr. Baishu, is my father going to be
You needn't worry too much. Keep taking the prescribed medicine every day, and a full recovery will take at most 2 to 3 years. It's good we caught it in time. A few days later, and the toxin would have built up in the internal organs. At that point, things would have been much more serious.
How did they successfully secure such a seldom-seen poison? It seems the Fatui are extremely resourceful. Unfortunately for them, they were up against us.
Uncle Tien will be heading off now. Remember to get plenty of rest and avoid overexerting yourself while you're recovering.
Don't worry, I will. Thank you very much. Ah, you're here too? Thank you for all you've done to resolve this situation. Yes, the exhaustion seems to have gone.
Luckily, it looks like choosing the Tianshu's successor is suddenly not such a pressing issue after all.
Hey, Yelan!
My work is mostly wrapped up, so I thought I'd take a minute to check in here. The assessment process comes to an end here, Uncle Tien.
You have my gratitude. People can change their loyalties easily. I've always known this.
Is it just Paimon, or is Uncle Tien not that surprised?
Don't underestimate Uncle Tien. He wouldn't have appointed me as assessment officer if he hadn't. Normally, the Yuehai Pavilion would be responsible for
Yes, to be quite honest, I wanted to trust him unreservedly. When I first met Juri, I wondered if he had approached me with a hidden agenda. So I secretly investigated. I concluded that he had no ulterior motives whatsoever. In the end, even he changed. I never had any plans to recommend him directly. I had no reputation to speak of when I first became Tianshu. I relied on Ganyu's assistance for all manner of things.
I have to admit, he's a smart guy. And the intel suggests that the Fatui saw him as very low risk. He chose that specific liquor from Shinue Kiosk because the fiery flavor would mask the bitterness of the poison. And he chose to wait until the Fatui official was drunk and had his guard down before delivering it to him. He also installed a secret compartment in the wine pot he bought. Afterwards, we also found he had an antidote on him. Had the Fatui official grown suspicious...
But that's still really dangerous.
Yes. Had he drunk the poisonous wine, he still would have faced serious health consequences despite taking...
How is Juri now?
Well, I mean, he is sitting in a jail cell. Like Yanfei says, everyone who breaks the law has to pay the... Still, he's cooperating. He didn't turn down my offer to strike a deal. I'll make sure there are plenty of guards around to keep him safe from anything.
A deal? Does this have to...
Yes, Juri's not the one I'm interested in. But once the Fatui became involved, things got
Well, did you?
Almost. Unfortunately, it's...
Uncle Tien? Yelan? What are you talking about? Paimon doesn't understand.
Juri colluded with the Fatui to try and secure the position of Tianshu. With Yusupov in our hands, and a statement... Also, we'd be able to gain control of Theophan. Pawns like this can be major assets. They open up all sorts of new options. Why else did you think I was investing so much time and effort into this case?
So, okay, well, did your plan succeed?
We got halfway. The first part went off without a hitch, and we passed all the information on to Lady Ningguang. But when we tried to make contact with Theophan, he was...
The Fatui must be spying on us. Otherwise, they'd never been able to respond so quickly.
I found out from other sources that the Harbinger Regrator got involved. The Fatui's main forces aren't concentrated here. It's a pity that Theophan got away. But no...
I have to ask, Yelan. Do you have any desire to take over the position of Tianshu yourself? I remember you showed some interest a few days ago at Genshin.
Oh, that. I was obviously joking. I prefer my current life. There's danger and there's excitement. Although it'd still be a behind-the-scenes role, as Tianshu, I wouldn't have the chance to get involved in anything. All right, I'm done here. Time for me to go.
Where are you off to this time?
As you might have guessed, it's for me to know and you to find out. But I'm sure if you keep going as you are, getting yourselves involved in other people's business all the time, you're sure to get caught up in another misadventure before too long. Maybe I'll see you the next time danger beckons. Until then, keep your wits about you. If you have any more questions, just ask Uncle Tian. After the recent turn of events...
What would you like to know? Something I've said to Jury Chinwe. Jury and Ambassador Yusupov each saw each other. Scheming is an endless endeavor. Everyone has self-interest. What would you like to know? I first met Yelan when she was very young. An old friend of mine once privately commented to me that something of an exaggeration in my view. What would you like to know? Regrator is the 9th of the Fatui Harbingers. However, his wealth is not a mere question of how much more he has to his name. Beyond that, I don't have a lot of information about him. What would you like to know? As Yelan says, now that I'm on the mend, during this time... that reminds me. What would you like to know? As Yelan said, during this... that... What would you like to know? Thanks to you and Yelan, everything turned out okay this time.